So, season's over, open water anyway. The next season's just beginning right now. We got ice coming here pretty quick, and you guys need to get your stuff ready right now because it's going to be here before you know it. You're going to be scrambling around to get anything you want to get done for it. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what I bring and what I'm using out in the wintertime. Especially this early ice year. This segment here is a little bit more geared towards early ice. So you got to be mobile and be willing to move around a lot because early ice is a great time of year to catch any kind of fish, but you got to move around and you got to be willing to move, and it starts off by packing light. You don't want to take a whole bunch of stuff with you. So we'll go over a quick overview of what I bring, and then I'll kind of dig into the tackle and the rods and that kind of thing as we get farther into this. But usually where I'll start is I just got a sled. My sled here it's just a small one. It's just a 4-foot sled. And this is all I bring with me. I don't know if you can see the whole thing there, but this is it. I'll have this and whatever's in my arms. And that's all you need this time of year. You don't need a whole lot. I like the sled because it makes it easier pulling and putting everything in there. I can set right on it in a bucket, pull right up next to my holes. As far as an auger, you know, I've got a big gas auger, but that thing's 40 pounds. So you got to drag that everywhere you go. So I like to use my hand auger. As long as you got sharp blades, this thing will go through a foot of ice really easy, really fast. So it's very handy to have. It thing weighs 5 pounds maybe. Easy to bring with you out there. So, and then you always got to have some kind of a Vexilar or flasher. This is one, I like the sun shield I put on here. It cost me $2 to make it out of some plexiglass, so it's nice in the sun, but you need a flasher and you need to learn how to use it and read it. Of course, you want to bring some tackle. I usually just bring one box. This is it. And everything I need is in here. Rods, you should have them all rigged up already. You can always bring live bait. If you do, make sure you bring a little bucket, something to put it in. You can get styrofoam buckets insulated to help with the ice a little bit better, but this is all I bring. It's a small bucket. Everything fits right in my sled real nice. As far as rods, early season, you kind of want to know what you're going to go after. If you're going to go after walleyes, you know, you can bring 1 or 2 jigging rods, and then you can bring a tip-up with if you want. Tip-ups are very good early ice because tip-up's kind of like having another guy with you. You know, you can have 2 lines in Perham area here in Minnesota in the winter, and you can set a tip-up 20, 30 yards away from you and be jigging and moving different holes. And if your tip-up's constantly going up, then you can move over there, set your tip-up in a different spot, catch fish over there. So those are just a few of the things I like to bring with. Portables, you can bring them. You know, the one I've got here, this whole portable fits right in my bag like this, and the thing's maybe 15 pounds. It's real light. I got a nice shoulder strap. I can haul it with me anywhere I want to go, and it sets up pretty fast. Usually it's not real cold early in the year, so you can kind of get away without having a heater and that kind of stuff with you. But the key there is light. All this stuff fits right in my sled. I can pick the sled, a whole sled, maybe weighs 100 pounds, if that. Pick it up, throw it right in the vehicle, pop it out when I get to the lake, and drag it right to my spot. And I can have everything picked up in 2-3 minutes onto a next spot. And that's the ticket this early season like that, is you want to be able to be mobile and move around and really find where those fish are and what they want to eat. So now we kind of got that stuff. I'll kind of go through what I'm looking for and what I'm using this time of year. So let's just say we're going to go walleye fishing. I've got a medium jigging rod that I like to always bring, and I'll usually have that rigged up with something very aggressive. In here I've got some spoons, and these are about my favorite lures in the winter for walleye fishing. Spoons are great. They attract fish from a ways away. Some have rattles, some don't. They're just flashy, but spoons with a minnow head or a piece of soft plastic is probably one of the best ice fishing lures there is. And they're very aggressive baits. I mean, fish will let you know they want these. There are a lot of these will be reaction bites on these, but these are great bait. And I always have one tied up for my jigging rod. It's a must. When you get, say you're going to use your second line, you're going to fish in your portable, whatever, and you're going to have your bobber line down, you don't need a tip up inside. Then I'll go with something, I'll either go a plain hook, or I'll start using some of these smaller jigs like this. They got a plain hook here. Jigs like this are perfect winter jigs. You want something with a bigger head on it. Again, you're not really moving it, you're not jigging it like the summertime. So you want something like this with a little bit bigger head, or like this one. And the ticket here is some of these are glow, some of these aren't. Glow hooks will work a little better because it tends to be a little bit darker under the ice. So that's something the fish can see a little easier, and they'll be able to find it and find that minnow. As far as setting them up, you can see I've got this one set up here. I've got my jig right there, and I'll go up about 6 to 8 inches, and I'll put just one split shot. And that's it. And then I like these foam bobbers. You know, they're really easy to take on, take off, they pop right off, and they're completely adjustable. You know, if I have a good sized minnow on here, pulling this bobber down, take the weight off, put it back down. I'm still doing it, put a taller one on, and while it's in the water, if the water's coming to right here, I can pinch off this top piece so that bobber is just barely sitting into the water. It seems a lot in the winter that the fish kind of get sensitive if they're grab that minnow and they can feel that bobber pulling down, that resistance. A lot of times they'll let it go. So it's just something to kind of watch for. Try to match your bobber so it's the right weight for your lure. So that was a jig. This is the same thing. This is just a plain hook on this one, but it's the exact same setup. It's pretty foolproof. You know, set it on your rod holder, set it down in the snow, and just watch the bobber here or there. As far as tip-ups go, tip-ups is something I use a lot, and I think more people need to use it. You know, it's kind of getting forgot about nowadays. So you've got a bunch of different kinds. This is the older kind. This is just the straight arrow one. They always work, they always produce. These are pretty simple, easy to use. If you don't know how tip-up works, your line just goes down in your hole right there. Your flag gets set on a hard setting or a soft setting. When the fish comes in, it pulls a line, pops your flag up, lets you know you got a fish. So this is the older kind. Then you've got some of these. These are the thermal tip-ups here. These are nice. They keep your holes from freezing up too bad. And this is the same exact setup. Your flag's up top, everything's right there, ready to go. So these work really well, especially on cold days. It's going to keep everything nice and thawed out. This is kind of the same thing. This just isn't a thermal one, but it does cover your hole. I use these ones. You can get some of these with longer flags on them, but so tip-ups are a great way late in ice fishing to kind of get your boat out and move around a bit and really explore some new water. So because you're kind of stuck where you're at. So get some tip-ups out there, start looking around at those spots, because they're going to be good spots, and fish are going to be moving really good this time of year. Especially your first few weeks ice fishing is going to be the best ice fishing of the whole season. So get your tackle, get your rods, get your depth finder, your bait bucket, put it in a sled, and go out there, and you got to fish those same spots you're fishing in the fall, those steeper breaks, those sunken islands. Anything that looks good to you, just try it, because you don't know. Like I've been saying this whole season, fish swim and can be anywhere they want to be. So you got all your stuff, you know your spot's going to be, and don't ever forget a chair. But get out there, get on that lake. You can walk out there, make sure you got the good enough ice. You know, you want 2.5, 3 inches. It's kind of iffy on that much. So we'll just wait a little bit. Get a good 3-4 inches out there, and then before you guys head out there. Be safe. Always bring a friend with. You don't know what could happen, anything. So you guys have a good one. Use these tips. Get your stuff ready for ice fishing, because it's going to be here fast. So have a good one. We'll see you next time.